Okay everybody, this is MOONEY-DASHCAM. If you enjoy these videos, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Alright, on to the video. Today, we are in the South Bronx during the coronavirus, but as you can see, it's not really affecting much. It's kind of like business as usual. A little less traffic on the road, but everyone's got to do what they got to do. I don't know. I'm supposed to stay inside, but whatever, what can you do? Can't control everybody. Hear the music playing? Having a good time. Alright, so we're in the South Bronx, and this video is going to be on the precinct, the 41st precinct, that was nicknamed Fort Apache. The reason why it was nicknamed Fort Apache is because Fort Apache is metaphorically a building or complex providing shelter from hostile action. That's how crazy this neighborhood was back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. That the cops looked at the precinct as a safe haven from pretty much like a war zone. I mean, this area was one of the epicenters. If you go look at my Brownsville video, very similar situation that went on here. Crazy amount of arson due to the crime, because all the crime was happening during the crack epidemic. A lot of drug dealers, a lot of people were losing their jobs. That would turn them to selling drugs. That in turn brought crime to the area. That would cause the high-paying tenants to move out of the buildings. Then the landlords had no income coming in. So what they would do is, once all the high-paying tenants would leave, they'd burn the building and get the insurance money. It was a pretty common thing going on. So arson just swept through the South Bronx. It was mostly in the late 70s. Okay, right now we're on Westchester Avenue. It's kind of like the border of Longwood / Hunts Point. That's the area that the 41st Precinct patrolled. Oh, tight squeeze here. We're actually going to go look at the precinct now. One of the reasons why this precinct is so notorious is because in 1976 there was a book written about it from actually the captain of Fort Apache at the time. And then in 1981 there was a movie starring Paul Newman and Danny Aiello, which was a hit. So it was a hit, but it caused a lot of controversy in the area because of the fact that everyone kind of thought it portrayed the neighborhood badly, that it was all crime, but at the time it really was a lot of crime. I'm sure there were some good people doing the right thing, but not really the area you wanted to break down in your car, you know? Okay, so we're going to swing by the precinct shortly. I can't believe how many people are still out during this epidemic, pandemic, whatever you call it. So yeah, in 1993, the precinct was so bad they had to move it. They moved it from 1086 Simpson Street, where the building still is now, to 1035 Longwood Avenue. That's where they currently are. And then in the late 1990s, it was turned into office space for police detectives, and now it is the Bronx Detective Bureau. So you'll see there's going to be a bunch of like detective looking cars out front. Yeah, there's a rumor, I don't know how true this is, there's a rumor that in the 60s it got its name because somebody shot an arrow through the top window. That's what I read. It seems a little far-fetched that in the 60s someone was shooting a bow and arrow around. But, yeah. When a place gets that notorious, a lot of legends get talked about. Also, everyone in the comments that always says that I leave the neighborhood or I don't say them in the correct neighborhood, I'm driving around. Every once in a while I get out of the neighborhood a block or two and I come back into it. Generally where I say I am is where I'm driving around. Here and there I leave the spot. See people walking around with their little masks on and their gloves that we kind of know now don't do much for the situation, but hey, if that's what you choose to do. What is going on in front of me? So the area of Longwood and / Hunts Point, I already did a video on Hunts Point. I'm not going to really head into there. If you want to check that out, it's one of my earlier videos. Wow, this is kind of crazy. What's going on in front of me? Everyone just drive. Yeah, we'll figure it all out. So yeah, currently, the more current stats on Hunts Point, Longwood, it's 29% poverty rate, which is a good amount higher than the rest of New York City. I think the average is like 21% for the city. The rate of violent crimes is greater than the city as a whole. I don't know the exact percentage on that. I can give out that information. It's 75% Hispanic and Latino, 22% African American. The median, the average income is about $21,000 a year, which is obviously low. Just to put in perspective how bad the crime was, it's down 75% since the 90s. And this is still not the best area. Still a high crime compared to the rest of the city, like I said before. So what I thought was a crazy statistic is even today in the current times, out of 69 precincts, I don't know exactly which ones that are on this list, it's the 67th safest. So 2 up from the least safe precinct. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not safe. Alright, we're a few blocks away now from where we're going. We're also going to swing by the current precinct at 1035 Longwood, which is not too far away from the legendary Fort Apache. And it's really a cool looking old building. I'm glad they kept it around, didn't knock it down or anything like that. It's like a 100-year-old building. Nice like cement work or stone work, whatever you call that. Alright. Oh, I can't make a right onto it. Alright, so I'll slip around the one way. No big deal. there we go. We get to drive under the train. Everyone likes a little under the train trestle drive. See all these old style buildings? These are probably the buildings that were burnt out back in the day. Obviously there's renovations been done. New buildings popping up every day. There's the train. I mean, nobody is taking the correct precautions during this situation. I'm just looking at an outside fruit market, everyone touching everything. Yeah, you have your gloves on, but then you scratch your face with your gloves on. So what's the point? Weird time to see everybody not take this seriously. See some people with masks on right up here. Which we've learned by now, I said before, doesn't do much. So. Okay, we're turning onto Simpson Street now. Ladies, I can't make that turn around the pillar. For everyone watching, I didn't just put my lights on to flash at them. They went on because I'm in the shade, so it thinks it's nighttime. I'm not that much of an asshole. Okay. It's going to be right up here on the right. This is it to the right. I mean, it looks like a fort. Crazy. So apparently through one of those top windows an arrow was shot. Like I said, I don't know how true that is. Old construction. Been here for over 100 years. Okay, now we are off to Longwood Avenue, 1035. 1035, Longwood. That girl had on no helmet on the back of the moped, with her hands in her pockets, not even grabbing onto the guy. Pretty dangerous. But who am I to judge? It's your life. Back under the train. What I find funny is that the old 41st that we just passed, the old 41st precinct, is technically not in Longwood or Hunts Point. It's like a block or two out of the neighborhood. I guess it just worked out that this is the area that they patrolled. Mask. I'm hungry for lunch, but I don't really know what the safest situation to do right now. If it's to go into one of these delis. Who knows? You can see this is obviously a busy block, a lot of streets. It's kind of like the downtownish row of stores. On the street poles there are NYPD security cameras. So at all times there's a camera on you pretty much here. Oh, I've passed this precinct many times now that I'm thinking about where exactly it is. Yeah, there's some places closed. There's a burger place to my right, closed. Most places are open though. A lot of places are just doing drive-through and just doing takeout. Like you can't sit in there and eat. You can just get the food and leave, which I don't know if that is making much of a difference, but like I said, the only thing I've really noticed is there's a little bit less traffic driving around. Just warning you, the new precinct doesn't look nearly as cool as the old one was. A little bit of a downgrade if you ask me, but it is this big red building to the left with the blue trim. I'll make a left so you can go past the front. They have their big back lot all gated off. A lot of precincts don't have parking lots, so this is a little bit unique. Most of the time they just park on the street, like how cops do, like that sideways, half on the sidewalk, half on the street. I don't know if they do that everywhere, but in New York that's kind of the common. Loving the traffic there. Even when there's less traffic in the city, there's still traffic. See to the left, that's what I'm talking about, how they park normally. But yeah, that is the new 41st precinct. And if you enjoyed this video, like I said earlier, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Stay safe with this corona.